Yangmin angrily pounds on Ryumin's apartment door, convinced of Ryumin's inferiority and frustrated by unanswered calls. He shouts insults and threatens to teach Ryumin a lesson, but his knocking yields only silence. Next door, an elderly man wearing glasses comes out and asks why Yangmin is there. Yangmin is rude at first, but then finds out that the old man owns the apartment building. The elderly man tells him that Ryumin moved out that day, and this surprises and angers Yangmin. Meanwhile, Ryumin and his younger brother Wonnie arrive at their new upscale apartment building. Wonnie is awestruck by the luxurious setting, struggling to believe it's real. They ascend to the 43rd floor, where their spacious apartment awaits. Inside, Wonnie expresses disbelief at the size and cost of the apartment. Ryumin, more pragmatic, explains the necessity of the expense, justifying the hefty price tag with the level of security it offers. Ryumin stresses the importance of their apartment's protection, especially during the monthly narcolepsy when players like them are vulnerable. Safety from real-world threats such as disasters or player attacks is vital. Ryumin asks Wonnie if he likes their new home, and Wonnie enthusiastically agrees. Despite the luxury and Wonnie's contentment, Ryumin's eyes betray a hint of sadness. Seeing Ryumin's sadness, Wonnie feels guilty and expresses remorse. He understands that while he enjoys their new life, Ryumin is burdened with the impending return to the otherworld for battle. As Wonnie shares his thoughts, Ryumin offers comfort and suggests they go to a Korean restaurant on the building's second floor to lighten the mood. As they prepare to leave, Ryumin's phone rings and he sees it's Yangmin, who must have found out about their move. Ryumin chooses to ignore the call, reasoning that their paths in reality are unlikely to cross again, but it may not be the same for the other world. The next morning, Ryumin, still groggy from sleep, finds Wonnie ready to go out. Ryumin asks about his plans, and Wonnie explains he's picking up a rice cake to celebrate their move and introduce themselves to the neighbors. This is a new experience for Ryumin, as he can't recall Wonnie buying rice cakes in the morning before. Reflecting on this, Ryumin questions Wonnie's sudden decision. Wonnie explains that it's customary to treat neighbors after relocating as an act of goodwill, recognizing the wisdom in building rapport with their neighbors. Ryumin agrees it's a thoughtful gesture. Wonnie, all set to leave, insists on going alone to pick up the rice cake and encourages Ryumin to take rest. However, Ryumin suggests they go together. After collecting the cake, they reach the first neighbor's apartment and Wonnie presses the call button. Oona's voice responds and Ryumin introduces them as new neighbors. The door opens to reveal a woman who warmly greets them. Noticing the resemblance between the boys, she correctly guesses they are twins. Wonnie confirms her suspicion and presents her with a warm rice cake. The neighbor expresses her gratitude, promising to enjoy the treat, and the brothers politely say goodbye. Continuing their rounds, Ryumin and Wonnie visit each apartment, offering rice cakes and friendly introductions. They work their way through the building, leaving just one neighbor unvisited. Exhausted but determined, Wonnie urges Ryumin to press on. They step into the elevator, heading towards the penthouse, their final stop. As they ascend to the top floor, Ryumin explains that the 44th and 45th floors are combined into a single luxurious penthouse, possibly housing someone famous or a wealthy family. When they reach the penthouse and try to call, there is no response. Wonnie speculates that perhaps no one is home. After a second unsuccessful attempt, the brothers are about to leave when Wonnie notices something unusual behind Ryumin. He turns around and sees two persons coming toward them. To his surprise, one of them is the famous actress Seo-eun. Wonnie is captivated by the actress's beauty, thinking she looks like an angel. Their admiration is interrupted by her bodyguard, who steps in front of them and blocks their view, assuming they are fans. Ryumin quickly explains they are neighbors and offers a rice cake as a friendly gesture. The bodyguard realizes his mistake, lowers his hand, and informs them that the actress doesn't eat such things. He then guides Aaron inside, leaving Ryumin annoyed at the bodyguard's rudeness. Wonnie, still amazed by the brief meeting, excitedly says the actress is Seo-eun, a celebrity he admires. Ryumin, less familiar with celebrities, looks puzzled by Wonnie's enthusiasm. Inside the penthouse, Aaron thinks about the recent news of celebrities passing away from heart attacks and wonders how the world keeps going despite these tragedies. Lost in thought, she gets a text message from her friend Hongshin with more sad news. Another celebrity, Gung Seojin, has passed away. Aaron tells Hongshin she's aware of Seojin's passing and will attend the funeral, recognizing Seojin's significance in her life. Reflecting on the unpredictability of their world, Aaron appreciates her personal growth and the support she's received, especially from her sponsors. She's grateful for the potent rune that saved her from becoming a tragic headline in the grim articles she's reading. Her bodyguard notices Aaron's troubled expression and offers a listening ear. She shares her anxieties about the upcoming round and he reassures her, urging her to trust in his protection and relax. Aaron acknowledges her reliance on him. At first, she was unsure about the company assigning her a guard, suspecting him of surveillance. But she admits that his presence has been important for her survival in the first round. Changing the topic, Arin mentions the two neighbors who brought a rice cake. She found it tempting, but her bodyguard disagrees, suspecting ulterior motives in the brothers. Arin can't help but feel that one of the brothers, who looked over 15, had probably also killed 100 goblins to survive, yet appeared calm. Her bodyguard agrees with Arin, but stays practical about the difficulty of killing 100 goblins, considering it easy for skilled individuals like himself. While thinking, Arin compares their abilities to those of a player named Black Scythe, whose skills almost make her feel sorry for the goblins they fight. She wonders about Black Scythe's real-world job, thinking that teaming up with someone of his skill could greatly improve her chances of surviving the next round. On January 31st, Wani cleans the living room as Ryumin returns from the bank. Ryumin confirms receiving about 15 billion won in lottery winnings, slightly less than last time. Wani playfully asks about any bank issues due to Ryumin's fourth consecutive win. Ryumin shares the bank president's surprise and his divine prediction in a dream story, which the bank president believes. Concerned about investing the money in Bitcoin, Wani questions its wisdom. Ryumin, with approximately 1.5 trillion won in his account, reassures him and suggests going out for a meal. As the moment of transition approaches, Ryumin lies in bed and Wani sits by him, holding his hand. Wani worries and urges Ryumin to survive. Ryumin reassures him, promising to be there when Wani wakes up. The transition to the new world happens swiftly. Ryumin and others find themselves in a dense forest, causing a mix of panic and resignation. Ryumin, as Black Scythe, the top player from the first round, stands out among the players. He notices that most people recognize him and understands that they will likely avoid him due to his reputation. A new angelic figure appears in the sky, replacing the previous angel. She introduces herself and assures the players of her guidance, signaling the beginning of second round in this mysterious world. As the angel announces round 2's assignment, players feel a mix of relief and confusion. They have 3 hours to choose a zone representative, a shift from the previous survival challenges. System windows display the details: 900 million participants worldwide, with 5,143 in their specific zone. The task wording initially puzzled the players, as they expected more combat. Questions arose about the possibility of everyone surviving. The angel clarified that physical combat was unnecessary. The task was solely to elect a zone representative through voting. These representatives would wield significant power over others, being able to command or even decide the fate of their constituents. The announcement brings immediate joy to almost all players, relieved at the prospect of survival without violence. Ryumin, however, doesn't join the celebration. The task's simplicity, compared to the brutal first round, seems suspiciously straightforward. The angel sets a 3-hour deadline for the decision and then vanishes. While the players cheer, there is an undercurrent of skepticism among some. Yangmin, in particular, is discontent with the outcome. He has prepared for physical combat and wants to prove his strength. Ryumin overhears Yangmin's conversation with a classmate and realizes that Yangmin has a rune of strength. Ryumin knows that this round has additional hidden quests, and he needs to reach level 10 to achieve class selection as quickly as possible. With this goal in mind, Ryumin ventures deep into the forest, encountering goblins and dispatches them with ease. Each kill boosts his stats and experience, thanks to the rune of slaughter, which increases all his stats by 1% per kill. Ryumin's strategy involves maximizing his agility to enhance combat effectiveness. While the men's strength could be valuable, agility allows him to evade attacks and strike with precision. In a short time, he reaches level 9 and decides to allocate all his points into agility. This decision reflects the delicate balance of attributes in the game. As Ryumin hunts in the forest, he senses he's being followed, an unusual occurrence in his past attempts. Cautiously, he confronts the source of the noise, dagger at the ready. To his surprise, it's the same actress from the real world, Arin, wearing tall black shoes, who jumps out from behind a tree. Arin greets him and apologizes for following him. Another man, An Sangxiol, emerges from the bushes and also apologizes for their actions. Ryumin recognizes Sangxiol as having connections to Meg Yanrock, the eldest son of one of the largest companies in the country, known as Heavenly Demon, a target Ryumin is after. He needs to recruit the priest for the 20th round, and Meg Yanrock's connections could be valuable. Arin explains they followed Ryumin because he was ranked number 1 in the world rankings for the first round and suggests cooperation. However, Ryumin, known for his self-reliance, makes it clear he is not interested. He sees no need for cooperation and considers himself proficient at fighting alone. He continues on his path, leaving them behind. Watching Ryumin walk away, Sangxiol can't help but marvel at Black Scythe's immense ego and self-confidence. He questions whether forming an alliance with such a proud player is even possible. Feeling the pressure, Arin falls to her knees. Sangxiol asks her about the pressure she's experiencing, and Arin explains that being stared at fiercely and having a sword pointed at her makes her nervous. Her plans to team up with the number 1 player didn't go as expected. Reflecting on the situation, Sang-hyul knows that players like Black Scythe are unlikely to seek alliances. They'd already wasted time following Ryumin, and the main task of choosing a representative for the region lies ahead. Unsuccessful, Orin and Sang-hyul decide to hunt monsters in the forest to make the most of their remaining time in the second round. In the forest, Ryumin keeps sneaking and attacking goblins with a bloody dagger. Suddenly, more foes, 5 gnolls, join the fray. These hyena-like creatures attack in packs, are faster and more maneuverable than goblins, but Ryumin's combat skills and the power of his Rune of Slaughter allow him to dispatch them with ease. He defeats 65 out of 100 enemies, boosting his stats by 65% thanks to the rune, reaching his goal of reaching level 10 and meeting the class selection requirements. Meeting the advancement conditions, the hidden subquest details appear. To complete this side quest, he needs to advance before the voting time, obtain an advancement item, and acquire a class for a 50% store discount. The available class details remain elusive, shrouding players' choices in mystery. Unique conditions are required for each class's advancement item, adding complexity to the challenge. Warriors need level 10 and 30 monster kills in an hour, berserkers must hunt while bleeding, and assassins have to backstab monsters repeatedly. Ryumin has been working towards obtaining the Reaper class, which aligns with his combat style. He has chosen this path instead of the Hunter class and has already acquired the advancement item from a fallen angel. Without hesitation, he confirms his choice. As a reward, he receives a Reaper rune, which can double weapon damage during the day and increase attack speed by 50% at night. It also provides stealth benefits when one remains motionless in the dark. The rune automatically engraves itself on Ryumin's body. Along with the Reaper rune, Ryumin gets a Reaper Scythe, the signature weapon of his new class, and his rank is upgraded to Apprentice. Players have 6 ranks based on their level, each with unique benefits and bonuses. Advancing in rank unlocks special bonuses, class skills, and new features. Ryumin gains the Reaper class skill Insignia of Death. Promotion to a higher rank is vital, as players can remain beginners forever if they don't advance. Being the first to advance, Ryumin also receives a random gold pouch and a unique neutral skill called Neutral Tracking. This skill can locate a selected target with knowledge of their face and name. Ryumin decides to use this skill to track Yangmin. It successfully pinpoints Yangmin's location, generating a route to reach him. Yangmin is now only 190 meters away in the forest, a significant change from his previous 2-kilometer distance in Ryumin's last attempts. In the forest, Orin and Sang-hyul struggle to escape from pursuers. Orin, exhausted and injured, eventually fell to her knees, unable to continue. Sang-hyul encourages her to keep moving, but her injured leg poses a challenge. Orin worries about the arrow wound and its potential effects in reality, but Sang-hyul assures her that injuries in the game didn't transfer to reality. As they press forward, they are attacked by a group of players led by Yangmin, who taunts them and questions their pause, even mocking Sang-hyul for drawing his dagger. Yangmin points out the significant difference in numbers between their group. Sang-hyul, agitated and bewildered, asks why the squad is attacking them, emphasizing that he has no quarrel with them. Yangmin, somewhat mad, reveals the squad's true intent. They're after Orin. He admits they don't care about Sang-hyul and their sole objective is to capture Orin. This shocks the rest of the squad, who discuss whether Orin might be an imposter due to her identical appearance and name. In a surprising turn, Yangmin proposes that Sang-hyul should abandon Orin and leave, assuring him the squad won't pursue him further. This dilemma puts Sang-hyul in a tough spot, torn between sacrificing himself for Orin or disappointing director Megyanrock. As tensions rise, Sang-hyul readies himself for a potential fight. Yangmin, driven by madness and lawlessness in this world, mocks Sang-hyul's concerns about breaking the law. He questions the existence of laws and dares Sang-hyul to prove his guilt. As the confrontation escalates, Sang-hyul reluctantly acknowledges the futility of reason, resigning to the impending fight. Just when things seem about to boil over, Black Scythe appears nearby, observing with amusement. Ryumin calmly inquires about the situation, prompting Sang-hyul to explain the gang's pursuit of Orin. Sang-hyul asks for Ryumin's help, and Ryumin accepts. When questioned by Ryumin, Yangmin, still agitated, rushes him off, stating that it's none of his business. Ryumin starts to approach him, and the atmosphere around him grows increasingly menacing, with a black and red aura enveloping him. This transformation leaves Yangmin trembling and uncertain about what might happen next. He nervously inquires about Ryumin's intentions. In response, Ryumin makes it clear that they are the people he knows, and he can't leave the wounded in distress. He indicates his readiness to take action as he pulls out a black Reaper Scythe from his inventory.